So it's been a couple of weeks since I have reviewed the top 10 Comic Tom list, and also a couple of weeks since I gave you a Remember Me pick. So how about I go through the list and then I give you 5 picks to make it up. Stick around. Welcome back, family. Thanks for joining yet again here at Ohana Comics. Okay, so like I said, it's been a couple weeks since I've done a review of the Comic Tom list, and I apologize. I wanted to do that weekly, but things just got a little bit crazy personally, and trying to get things a little bit more under control. Wanted to do this yesterday, but as I stated during the live stream, we wound up going to the Braves game, which they won in the walk-off in the bottom of the ninth. And then we went out to dinner, and by the time I got home, I was just exhausted. I'm sorry, I was just exhausted, and I just fell out. So here we are. It's Monday. I'm reviewing the Hot 10 list, and at the same time, I'm going to give you 5 Remember Me picks. If you don't know what that means, stick around and I'll explain it, and it's good for your wallet. But first off, let's look at the Comic Tom list. Now, Comic Tom, he comes up with his top 10 list, and sometimes it has some of the CBSI books, sometimes it's just books that he feel are based on sales and his information should be his own personal top 10 list. I don't believe that anybody that has that many subscribers should have that much influence where they put it on their list and immediately sales go through the roof. So there are some channels such as JP's Budget Collecting, which is where the inspiration for this particular show comes from, that review both the Comic Tom list and the CBSI. I only do Comic Toms. And try to say whether or not it, as his channel calls it, cash or trash. And they rate the investability over a 6-month period of time. And JP is great. He actually goes back at 6 months later and shows his predictions of whether or not they went up or down, and we can learn from it. So let's dive right into the list. Coming in at number 10 is the Spawn Batman number 1 from 1994. Now, this news is because McFarlane has announced that they're redoing or rebooting the Spawn Batman. So it's up to a $10 Raw and $170 for a 9.8. Okay, we're talking about a book that is almost 30 years old. Spawn, Batman. 2 great, highly loved characters. And it took a major breaking news to raise it up to $10. This was not a book that people really cared about. We don't know if the reboot's going to be any good, or once the reboot even hits, are people still going to be collecting the old one? Are people buying it now just completely as a speculation? I believe so, and I believe that this book will be back in the dollar bins within a month, so I would not recommend purchasing this book. Coming in number 9, oh boy, the name of the company says it all. Sacred Heart number 1. Don't even know there's going to be number 2. Sacred Heart, just call it that. From Bad Idea Donuts, Comics, Invisible Comic Books, has one single investment from Bad Idea turned out to be anything other than absolute garbage. This book was only available at SDCC if you went up to the writer and said to him, I heard you have something for me. Or I believe that's what the phrase, whatever the phrase was, it's irrelevant now. And then he would give it to you. You could interrupt him during dinner. You could interrupt him while he's in the bathroom stall. And he was obligated to give you a copy. Now, as Comic Tom said, to his knowledge, there's only 250 copies of this. Do we know this, or did they print 5,000 copies and only gave out 250? At which point, what's going to happen with the other 4,750? Will they then mail those off to comic stores to say thank you? I mean, these things are going for $525 for a Raw. Well, that's what Comic Tom said. I looked online right before this, and I saw buy it now is at $4.99, not selling. So, in any event, though, we're talking about multiple hundreds of dollars for this book that is a giveaway at SDCC, which we don't know a print run, from a company that has been absolute disaster on every single book they've produced. So, I think that this is just another peg in the disaster file, and stay away from this as much as possible. Coming in number 8, we have Secret Wars number 1, the 2015 run. $5 for a Raw, $350 for a 9.8. Wow, that is a major, major difference. Now, I don't think that you're going to find high quality raws at $5 right now. How and the darkness of that cover and the amount of ink on it, I think it's pretty susceptible to color rub. But if you can get one or two or three copies of this book for $10 for really, really good copies and send them off for, include them in a pre-screen, all you got to do is hit one of those as a 9.8 and you're doing great. I wouldn't spend $3.50 on a raw. I have a copy that I picked up I wouldn't spend $3.50 for a 9.8. I would pick up a few copies of the raws and send them off for pre-screens, which I think a lot of people are going to do, and you're going to have a flooding in the market. So if you want a 9.8 and you don't want to be hassled, wait 3 months when all these books start coming back, and then you should see these prices drop because there'll be a flood on the market. The raws, though, I wouldn't, $5, $6, $10, I would grab a copy or two. I don't think this is going to be the actual storyline of Secret Wars, but I think it'll be the closest approximation. So I think that would be your best bet to, even just for more hype news in the future. It's up now, it'll come down a little bit, it'll go back up again. It's one of those yo-yo books. This is what you want to, it's not going to hurt you at $5. Coming number 7, Namor number 1, the 1990. Now, they said this is the 6th series. The 6th series. Well, the earlier books are getting out of price, out of range for people to buy. Yes, the Golden Age book, I agree. The Submariner book from 1968, I agree. So we have to jump all the way to the 6th series. I think, honestly, you'd be much better off looking for... I think I actually have one out here. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that actually go and buy this one, but this will just give you an idea. Silver Age book. Instead of going out for a Namor number 1 and spending $175 for a 9.8 on that book, I'd look for a low-grade Fantastic Four or a Silver Age book with Namor on the cover. I mean, I just think that is a better investment. Now, yes, you're not going to get a 5.0 for $175. I get that. But definitely could get a lower grade or even a lower grade raw, a reader copy. And I think you'll enjoy it more in your collection, knowing that you have a 50, 60-year-old book with Namor on it than a really not great art, in my opinion. Namor from 1990, the 6th series. You won't feel like you settled so much. And I think in the long run, investing in Silver Age books is still better than anything from the Copper Age. Coming in at number 6, Black Panther number 8, first appearance of Annika. $25 for a raw, $260 for a 9.8. Okay, we saw her in the trailer. Yes, I understand that. Is this going to be a major character? No, I don't see it as being a major character. And the secondary characters don't hold value. Just look at the first appearance of Nebula. She's much more popular she's actually an Avenger now. And her first appearance is not, it doesn't go up in value, because if it wasn't a fan favorite before, it's not a fan favorite now. So, just because you saw her in the trailer, the movie's going to come out. I don't know if there's going to be any toys. If you really want to pick this up, I wouldn't get it right now. Wait till more like September. Try to get it before the second trailer drops. Right now, everybody's looking for it. The next flavors will come out, and people will forget about this a little bit. The second trailer drops, and the closer we get to the movie, it'll go back up again. The movie will drop. It'll stay up again. But then after the movie is over, 2, 3, 4 weeks after the movie's over, this book will actually go back down. So this is one of your peaks. You just wait for it to be a valley. Yeah, speaking of valleys. Oh, wait, no. I almost skipped over number 5. Tales of Suspense number 94. A book that I'm kicking myself for. First appearance of MODOK from 1967. $770 for a raw. Yeah, that's a kind of a high grade raw. Because you can get lower grade raws for the $200 range. I think I got one when the MODOK series debuted, the animated one. I thought it was going to be better than it was, so I grabbed a copy of that. I think I paid like $70 or something like that. And when it turned out that it didn't do very, very well, it went down. And I sold it. It had a big subscription increase in it. I don't remember selling it, but it's not in my collection anymore, so apparently I did, or I put it in a grab bag or something. I don't know. Whoever got it, congratulations. $770 for a character we don't even know how they're going to represent in Quantumania. And based on history of what they've done with MODOK, no, I definitely would not be pulling $500, $600, $700 out of my wallet to go buy this book right now. I don't think this is a great investment, especially since a 9.2 sold for $13.29. Then how bad it was? How good are these raws that they're talking about? If you can pick one up for $100, $150 for a lower condition one to have that in your collection, because it's a great book, but I wouldn't go any higher than that. And if possible, I'd wait till after Quantumania and get the book then, because I think MODOK is going to be a one-shot deal in Quantumania, not a main character going forward, and it'll go down. Sorry. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons #1 coming in at number 4. $25 for a raw, $3.60 for a 9.8. DC Comics. Wow. This was a book that was in dollar bins, and it jumped out because the movie trailer dropped at SDCC, and this movie looks like a bunch of like 500 other adventure movies that I saw. I don't think it's going to do that good at the box office. I don't think it's going to be, it'll be okay. I don't think it's going to be great. And I think this book will be back in dollar bins by the end of the year. So definitely not $360. And I wouldn't even go for the $25 on this. And it's not even, there's no characters in the comic that are going to be in the movie. It has nothing to do with the movie storyline. It's just because they both have the same name. Yeesh. Speaking of the same name, the next two are bad investments just if you're going by the name. Coming at number 3, Daredevil number 227 from 1986, because it had the beginning of the Born Again storyline. They announced that Daredevil's getting his own 18-episode series. That's really cool. On Disney Plus coming out. And the name of the series will be called Born Again. Well, since the comic book storyline back in 1986 was called Born Again, that's caused it to spike up. It doesn't mean it's going to be the same storyline. What I've read is that the 3 seasons that they had on Netflix, they're going to honor the characters and the actors that portrayed them along those lines, but they're going to start over from scratch, okay, and kind of retell stuff. So it's not really canon, what you saw on Netflix. It's not going to be, well, that happened there, so that it must be here. No. You can have the same characters, same actors, but as far as everybody's concerned, the MCU portrayal is being born again. And that is, I think, where they're going with this. It's not going to be following the Born Again storyline. Even if it is $400 for a 9.8, $25 for a Raw, and we got at least a year and a half before this comes out. Don't just wait on this book. You pick one up when it's $5 4 months from now, or $10 4 months from now, if you want to speculate. But again, as I just said, it is a speculation. It's not a guarantee. Avengers number 41 from the 2001 coming in at number 2. Because the same thing, we have Avengers Kang Dynasty coming out, and that was the beginning of the Kang Dynasty storyline. Does that mean it's going to be the story of the movie? No. It just means that it happens to be the same name as that storyline. You think of all the millions of comic books, and I mean throughout all the years, all the companies, yeah, at least 100,000 different titles and tens of millions, hundreds of millions of books that have been printed. There's a title for every story. At some point, if it's a good title, it's going to be reused. So I don't think, and again, it's selling for $3. Avengers number 41, it's a $3 book, 21-year-old book. If it was that good, it'd be more than $3 to begin with. So just because it had the name, don't fall into the trap on this one. Don't grab us. This is never going to go up. Coming in at number 1, I'm a little torn on this. X-Men number 200 from 1985. $10 average sale, $180 for a 9.8. The Trial of Magneto. Very well-known cover. And because in the X-Men 97 animated series, it has a picture of Magneto wearing the same costume. So, is it going to be the Trial of Magneto? Is he going to take over for Xavier and become the new headmaster? What's going to happen? In the animated series, Marvel is kind of rebooting that a little bit as well and retelling that story. So in the comic books and possibly in the animated series, we may be getting this version of Magneto. So for $10, I think this is actually a worthwhile spec if you get a good copy. Bear in mind that in 1985, people were collecting X-Men comics. 1985 is about 50-50 newsstands and direct sale. The direct sale comics, people love their X-Men books. They picked them up and they went straight into bags and boards. So there should be a good supply of high quality books. It's a predominantly white cover, so color rub shouldn't be too bad. I don't remember off the top of my head what's on the back cover. I should be able to just check mine and know. But for $10, I'd give it a shot. 180 for 9.8. It's a lot of them. There's a lot of them, and there'll be a lot more thanks to this news. So I'd pick up 1 or 2 or 3 copies, really good copies, shooting for that $10 mark. And again, include that one in a pre-screen or just send them off to be graded. So that is my review of the Comic Tom Top 10 pick. Nothing really here that is, yes, run out there and buy it at these prices. A couple of them have some potential, but for the most part, just sit back, wait for as Reggie Collects would say, wait for the ocean to turn blue again, because right now it's all red from the blood. Wait for the waters to calm, and you'll get a better price. Which brings me to the next segment, Remember Me. Now, I've said several books here, don't pick this up, wait a little while. Wait till everybody forgets about it. Well, everybody includes me and you. So my purpose with this is these comic books are the ones that we said several months ago, don't purchase, wait for them to come back in price. And right now is when I'm saying the book is jumping up and down going, hey, remember me? Now is the time. If you really still want this book, this would be a better time to buy it. Okay? Some of these books they're really cool, iconic books that people wanted to own, but they got out of people's price ranges. Some of them have dipped down in price, and I think they have the potential to go back up again. So coming in, it was my first of 5 Remember Me picks, is the Mary Jane Black Cat comic book, which was the Adam Hughes 1 in 50. Now, I'll be honest, I bought one of these as a raw, and I think I paid $85 for it, which I should have followed my own news on that, my own instruction. They were going for $110, $120 for raw, so I felt really good about the fact that I got a raw for, I think it was $85 with 10 shipping. But now they're going for $50. You can get it for $50, this 1 in 50 variant, or $180 for a 9.8. This is a great cover. I love this cover. That's why I had to have it. And I did send it off, and I got a 9.8. So in the long run, I'm still ahead of the game, but not as much as I would have liked. These incentive variations are very tricky to pick the right one to go, to have a good investability in. On this particular book, though, a lot of people wanted it, but it just got out of people's price ranges. So if this is a book that you always wanted to have in your collection, the prices come way down, and you can get, a raw copy for incentive cost, $50. So here's your little time to remember, shoot, I wanted that. Now's the time to get it. Get the idea of Remember Me? All right. Coming at number 2 on my Remember Me, Reptile, number 1. I thought this was such a dumb comic. I never bought it myself. It came out in 2021. But it is the first appearance of Eva Quintero. And she's joining Strange Academy, which is it's on a hiatus right now. It'll be coming back, and it's a very, very popular series. So people were hoping that Eva would be more predominant in the comic book. She still may. And when it first came out, they were getting $15 for a raw and $90 for a 9.8. Well, now we're down to $5 for a raw and as low as $40, which is basically shipping and slabbing for a 9.8. This is the one that I'm personally going to be looking for right now. If I can get a 9.8 for the first appearance of a character in a very popular series for $40, I'm going to grab that. So Reptile number 1, there you go. There's a second pick. Third pick, you got it. Darth Vader number 1. Remember the Boba Fett series? First appearance of Black Chrysanthemum? Everybody freaked out about this book. So, yeah, the Raws were going for up to 50. The 9.8s were up to 325 6 months ago. Now, 15 instead of 50 for Raws. And 80 for a 9.8. So, for practically the cost of getting a Raw 6 months ago, you can now get a 9.8 slab first appearance of Black Chrysanthemum. I don't think we're done with Black Chrysanthemum in the MCU. I really don't. He's too popular a character. From the Darth Vader series in 2015, and if you think about it, 2 issues later, in Darth Vader number 3, is Dr. Aphra's first appearance, which is also down and not a bad time to look for that book either in a Raw. Little bonus there. If Dr. Aphra comes into the MCU, into the Star Wars universe, SWU, as a lot of people speculate that she will, Black Chrysanthemum and Dr. Aphra worked together a lot. And that could be its own spin-off series, at which point, won't you be very happy you picked up that character's first appearance during one of the low points. Number 4. The next 2 books, before I even put this up here, next 2 books are books that have been doing this for years. Up and down and up and down. And somebody mentions it, boom, it shoots up and then it comes back down. And then somebody farts the word and boom, it shoots back up again and then it comes back down. Well, right now, these next 2 books are down. And I think for any rumors in the future, this is a good time to pick it up for the next time it goes up. New Avengers number 7, first appearance of the Illuminati. Sorry, I have to do it. We were going $25 for the Raw, $300 for a 9.8. Now we're at $15 for a Raw and as low as $130 for a 9.8. This is a really good time to pick up that 9.8 because the Illuminati did show up in Doctor Strange and were promptly dispatched. But that's in one universe. We know we're getting the Fantastic Four. We know we're getting Namor. There's different members that are already forming in the MCU that are on the Illuminati. There's infinite amount of universes. We don't know how many more Illuminati groups we're going to see. We may in the future get an Illuminati group in Earth 616. If we do, this is that point where it goes down and anybody just farts the word Illuminati, poof, it's going to shoot back up again. So this is one that, there's going to be a lot of dealers out there that feel like they're stuck with this book. Make a deal. Grab this one when you can. And the last one, bear with me on this, Doctor Strange number 81, first appearance of Reptile. Now, this was $60 to $80 for a Raw. There were no graded copy versions shown. Now they're back in the dollar bin, $1 to $20 each. If you can pick them in the dollar bin, get them all day long. And here's why. In Doctor Strange, they had Reptile. They did. He didn't die. He was still alive after Wanda's attack. So there is nothing saying that Reptile cannot appear in the next Doctor Strange or in another movie going forward. If you see him in the trailer for the next movie in 2 years or 3 years or whatever, boom, that book shoots back up again. So keep your eyes open in those dollar bins for Doctor Strange, number 81, first appearance of Reptile. Okay, so there you go. 5 copies, 5 books there for your hunting pleasure as you're going to comic book shows or your LCS. See what you can find and see what you can negotiate. Because as I said, all 5 of these books are not in demand right now. So just because you see the price sticker on a book doesn't mean that you have to pay it. You can offer a lower price if they say no. Say, okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day. And walk out the store and not buy it. It's your money. Be frugal with it. But I want to thank you guys for joining yet again. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Click on those notifications so we can keep building the channel and you'll know when the new videos drop. Tiago, thanks for making sure that I got this one done this week. You're always somebody that I smile when I see you in the live stream on Saturdays. We've got live stream on Saturdays that we're going to be doing. We got Sandman dropping on Friday on Netflix. We're going to try to make sure we do a reaction video for episode number 1. Greg right now is compiling the video for our reaction of Andor. Oh, man, that was good. And the 30-second scene from She-Hulk. It was a little disappointing. But Still looked interesting. Hopefully they got some good things on the horizon. I will see you soon. Thanks for joining again. And until I see you, mahalo.